Dunbarton Board of Selectmen meeting to order for January 22nd. All three selectmen are present, the town administrator is present, Leo Martell is present, video recording for the public, and Linda Nickerson will upload that to the town website. Okay, I have some old business from the meeting minutes.
I'll make
prior
a
meetings.
motion to approve the regular minutes of January 8th, 2026 as amended.
I will second that.
Motion's been made and seconded, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, gentlemen, I'll go with Mike first, and then we'll start the file. I'll make a motion to accept the January 13th special informational meeting. I just wanna check here. This meeting was, set up to review some of our, personnel policies. And Dana and I joined the meeting at 2:10 PM, the meeting was started by Mike Kaminsky. And, we continued to do some town selectmen stuff at the second portion of the meeting. I'd make a motion, any seconds?
I'll second that.
Motion made, second, any discussion?
I thought, lesson learned, just for the board, I thought we did, it was a good meeting. I think we should have had in December, a lesson learned, in the future, if we do something like that, do just have it before it's implemented. And, but overall, I thought people walked out of here at least satisfied with the answers we gave.
Okay,
No comment.
alright, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So, I do think the other years we did our, policy changes, like, mid-year, June, July-ish, and I do think it's a little bit better time, the end of the year was a little hectic. Although the nice part about this is these were implemented starting the first of the year, so we got portions of them done so people can enjoy it. this year.
And a couple of these policy changes actually kind of required a January
For a
first
start date.
implementation, so if we didn't get it done for January 1, we would have to wait a whole another year.
That one for you to sign as well. Okay, I'll make a motion, for the January 13th non-public to be accepted as written. And it does not look like this one needs to be sealed.
I'll second.
Motion been made second, all in favor? Or any discussion first? It's the wage one for town administrator. We did that same day on the 13th. So your
It's
motion,
interesting, so there's something in here
your
about that,
motion is in there, but our discussion is there,
because, based on that,
Yes.
okay, got it,
okay?
no discussion then, okay. I just
All in
was-
favor?
Aye.
Okay. There you go.
Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah, that was just a non-public portion, right?
We gotta be careful, as you talk in non-public, we really can't make a motion in non-public. We have to come out of non-public, make the motion, so it's in public.
Yep, and that's exactly what we did. The motion was on the previous page. Okay, all the meeting minutes have been approved. I'm gonna open it for public comment. That being said, I'll close public comment and bring it back for town business. The first thing I asked Lean to put the first item on the agenda is to review the KTFCA budget change request from Selectman Knoll. We have had a private resident paying for the vegetation for the cellar hole at the top of Guam Pond, which is in that Kunkanawha Town Forest, section,
Field on the right.
the field on the right. So that thing about 3 years ago was overgrown, probably 13, 14 feet high. She paid to have it sprayed, taken down, they cleaned the trees, with volunteers afterwards around the foundation, just as you did down in Kimball Pond. And she's been paying for regular spraying of that, out of the goodness of her heart. And that section of field is part of the maintenance of the field there to keep that view open for the public, cause that's now town property. And so, they're down to a regular spraying now, it's $765 3 times a year. So they're doing it almost quarterly, it looks like. The total on it is $2297.25, and, we right now put $1,000 in the budget, and that's for the mowing, with the bush hog or one of them controlled vegetation heads, to keep the outside of the field mowed down around the stone walls. And this being in that same field, I don't see like a resident should be paying this individually. I think it should be part of the budget, and Lean did put it in her numbers, so that way when we're looking at the budget later tonight, it'll be.
The contract with the flag is what, is in the deed when we accepted the property, the land.
Yeah,
Okay, so Lean explained to me, the thing is, it's part of the deed is that the town is responsible
for
for
the maintenance.
maintenance of it.
And you know, out of the goodness of this person's heart, I don't wanna mention any names here, but, they've been doing it all on their own, because they had, spoken with the previous owner that donated the land to the town, and they felt it was their obligation to do what the owner would want to have done, and it's a small amount of money, and I think that, you know, instead of 1,000, it'll be 3,200, but this will take it out of the hands of the homeowner and pay it as a town fee for it.
So it's a $2,200.
$2297.25, yeah. So, and, you know, her first costs were 5,000 and 6,000, it was much higher because they had to get it under control. And where the roots are all mixed in with the walls, it's nothing you can do other than spray it, you can't rip the roots out, cause the walls would come down. But now you can see the foundation fully, you can walk around it, without getting tangled up in it, and, it's a lot pleasanter on the eyes. And that's right where the rock is in the signpost for the Vera Fog Field as well, right there.
So they say what?
So it's on the right hand side.
On the right as you're going down the hill,
around
yeah.
the corner, kinda.
The foundation is there and the rock is there with the
Yeah,
plaque on it.
I've seen the rock, okay,
Yeah.
yep.
Just behind that
What
rock.
kind of herbicide, do they mention the herbicide they're using?
Yeah, I don't know, it's done by True Green, so it's professional. Non-selective weed control. There's a whole
Dave?
page on the back,
Dave?
Yeah.
I know the person and they wouldn't allow anything hazardous in there.
no,
No.
no. But, I just thought, she brings this in front of the, I'm on the Canoe Town Forest. And she brings this and lets us know what she's doing every year and asks if it's okay for the board, and I've been watching this every year and I'm like, does not make a lot of sense to me. So I thought if we alter our budget, so we need a consensus by the board to do that.
Do you need a motion for this?
No, it's just add in, well,
I don't think it would hurt, to do it on
Well,
motion.
Well, the thing is this is an invoice that's been presented, we're implementing it into the 2026 budget. So if you approve the budget as a whole and the bottom line, then you've already done.
so we're in
So we'll do
consensus
is
to
a
put it into the
consensus
budget.
board to put it in our budget. Okay, or do we wanna make it a motion so that somebody else can't pull it out later on? Or they always can do that anyway. Okay, I'm good with the consensus.
Okay.
You want,
I'll let,
have Mike initial that.
I'll let them know as well, okay? Kind of just a cleanup thing, but I thought it would be a nice gesture not to,
Yeah.
All this was dropped years ago by a past board
yeah.
to save money.
Oh, really?
That's why.
Even the $1,000 was taken away for
Yeah.
a bunch of years and it was getting so overgrown there.
Yeah,
And,
I think though, may I speak on that, cause I've been here for a while?
of course.
It was a conservation line, and I think the board was, basically said, you're getting land use change tax, you're getting additional revenue, so that we're gonna pull that line up. But this is something fairly new, the KTFC line,
Yeah.
only because we've taken on,
well, they had it before, they did take it away.
on the
$1,000,
KTFC,
yeah.
Yep,
Years ago, they used to pay to maintain those walls and
yeah.
the board took it away.
Yeah.
And during our time, we added that back in.
okay, got it, alright, I stand corrected.
And that's why it was growing in so much, and then they had to, finally, well, they had a cutting to help pay for it, to maintain for a while, remember?
Yeah.
And then their money's dwindled and,
Okay. I'll go on to the next motion.
Thank
Thank you.
Okay, and
Okay,
just, why, that was one section that we were looking at for solar panels. But we're kind of limited by, the placement of solar panels here for the town.
I remember
that was one of the ones that George brought up as a potential site.
Yeah,
That
and,
would really
and
make
the
people
usage
happy.
of, huh?
That would really make people happy.
The usage of that,
Kind of.
land didn't allow anything,
That's, I just,
industrial or commercial or something.
Correct.
No, he read it, and I attached the
Oh.
email, or the deed for that reason.
Okay, Lean has a copy of our, we shall have a copy of the, review the draft warrant language and the final changes. So, like to just look at the ones, obviously, the first 5 are just standard ones. And 6 is hog reeves, that's standard. Our town budget, Lean has totaled up at $4,044,236. And,
44,236, yeah.
yeah. 4,000,000.
Yeah, 4,044,236
$236. As our total operating budget, less our revenues, less the appropriations. Appropriations to offset the unassigned fund balance of $660. Net to be raised from taxes is $2,073,808. So this will be what we're looking at. We already did kind of go through and approve all those, but I'll just go over them quickly with you guys. 15,000 for the reevaluation capital reserve fund. 25,000 for the transfer station vehicle capital reserve fund. 50,000 for the fire department emergency vehicle and capital reserve fund. 20,000 for the highway vehicle capital reserve fund. 25,000 for the police vehicle equipment capital reserve fund. And the warrant article, let's all read this to see if the wording makes good sense to us. Item number 13, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $92,500 to purchase a new skid steer / compact loader / telehandler with attachments, and to fund this appropriation by withdrawing $92,500 from the transfer station vehicle or equipment capital reserve fund established in 2014, less any grants received. No amount is to be raised from taxation in 2026. In case, for some reason, the 25,000 doesn't get approved earlier, I've had Lean make up a separate motion, so we'll be ready on the floor to approve the 80 or 82,000 out of the current capital reserve fund, and to have the rest come from taxation,
I've
so.
already got it ready, exactly with that, but the last line to say,
Yep.
and, with the 12,500.
We've never really had a capital reserve fund, not go through, that I'm aware of. Somebody might lessen it down, but it would still be plenty.
and if you recall town meetings, to help the moderator, if you have it pre-written and it's a written, he has to have it written. And it sometimes will delay the meeting if you don't have it written up.
So we have them written in case they do something like that, and we can hand it right to them and keep the meeting moving, so.
Wording wise, by withdrawing, would the words up to $92,500 make sense? Because it does say less any grants received.
Yeah, that would be great.
By withdrawing, instead of exactly 92,500 from the capital reserve,
Okay,
maybe just say up to?
By withdrawing up to
Yes.
92, I'm in agreement with that, that
Yeah.
sounds
it
right.
can go either way.
I think that's our intent
Yeah.
anyway, right?
Yeah.
Because for any grants, we wouldn't pull money.
That's exactly.
So
Right,
right
but
before
the issue
withdrawing,
is,
or after
Oh.
if the
withdrawing.
grants come after the fact, it just goes to the general fund.
That is true. So unless the grant was like a rebate,
Correct.
if the grant was a rebate, then
We can
we
apply.
would be withdrawing less.
Correct.
So we would want it to say up to.
Up to is fine.
Okay.
I
Alright,
have no
so it's
problem with
gonna
that.
read,
If it's a post-purchase grant, it goes back into the general
General
fund.
And again, I'll get up and explain during town meeting on this. The reason I listed, skid steer subcompact or telehandler, we're probably gonna shop this through 8 or 9 dealerships to see what the best price is. with the specifications we really like that the loader has. And when we shop that around, say we come to a product that's a year old with no hours on it, that they're, you know, basically giving away or trying to get off the lot, I didn't wanna limit ourselves as a town to some special deal when we get out there and actually shop this.
And if anyone gives us pushback, well, we don't need it like tomorrow, but this calendar year we'll probably need something. And we can only basically take the money out of it once a year, so we have to plan to take it out now. So we're gonna do due diligence shopping.
Yeah.
And that's
And,
what-
and actually finding the right piece of equipment
Right.
that provides the town the most value on the transfer station operation.
Right.
Once, I'm gonna go with Woody, and once we develop, okay, we like, you know, a 5,200 pound loader, the hydraulics of such and such a speed, go through the different specifications, 'cause I buy several tractors, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty familiar with that type of thing. And so if I go there, I'm gonna try and help them shop it, and then we'll send out an email to these different companies, let them come back to us, and then we'll go visit each one of them on what they have on their sites, and see which one
So
works
they're-
best for the town.
They're quoting apples to apples.
That's right.
And
As
so-
close,
Different
as
lines.
close as you can.
Yeah, so in other words, you still be following the bid process.
Yes. Actually, probably much more than the bid bond, I expect to have like 8 or 9 quotes back from,
Alright, so the only
Okay.
change to this is to insert up to, right
The
before,
words
the
up to.
after the withdrawing word. And no changes to the dollar amounts?
No, I think Woody, that was his top end that he found, we asked him to make sure you get the top end, so we don't cut himself short.
Okay,
he had another bid come in this week that was like 93.7, I said, you know, Woody, I said, we've been in front of both selectmen, they were in agreement to the amount. I said, there'll be no dealership that I can't go into and knock down $1,000. And he's like, yeah, but they might not have it, I said, I was in Chapel this week, they have 5 of them loaders on the shelf. Between now and March, they're not selling all 5 of them, so I'm not too worried about it. You know, I said, we're gonna negotiate this thing down, so.
Take 1,000 out of his, uniform budget.
Yeah, don't even go there.
Or Dave can pick it up.
Alright, so the rest of these warrant
A
articles are-
citizen's donation.
are pretty well fixed, which is the supervisory checklist
okay,
going to
Dave,
3-year
yeah.
term.
And you did ask me, Dave, what the difference was after, the raise in taxes from last year's budget. Last year's budget was, $2,050,198, and this year's budget to raise from taxes is $2,073,808. So it's an increase of $23,610.
To
An
me,
increase,
that's
I thought it
essentially,
was a
that
savings.
is flat,
That is amazing.
that is
That's
flat.
really good.
Alright, we're gonna take the 50,000, put it back here and have it flat.
No,
So I do just have one question, just as a follow-up, cause I haven't, I know we talked about all of these capital reserve funds.
Yeah.
Are there any capital reserve funds that have been, shorted over the past couple of years that we would want to add for any reason, because our tax situation is fairly good?
good this year.
This is probably the time to do something.
Remember
if we
that
wanted.
budget she's looking at didn't include the warrants.
Right.
That was just our budget, so when these warrants get approved,
Yeah,
It's another
that will
18,
be above
yeah,
and beyond by
it's
how
only
much?
18 cents, but it is. Or
18 for all
60
of them?
18 cents for the.
No,
other.
but what he's saying is still, this is a good year with
To
that.
increase the
If
deposits.
we had anything that
If
was
we-
needed funding,
if one of those capital reserve funds is somehow,
I can tell you from going to the different departments, cause we had a new fire truck,
yeah,
we had a new ambulance, we had a new command vehicle. They're pretty well set for a while, and we're putting a fairly substantial amount of money still in the fire department.
Yeah.
We look at the transfer station, the only other item, other than we're replacing this year, which they're on, and we can see we're still gonna have some money in their fund after we're done this.
Yeah.
Is their backhoe loader, and again, that's not something that needs to be done next year.
Yeah.
It's something that's getting some hours and getting older, but that can be picked within the next 2 or 3 years to be replaced or upgraded. And upgraded with another used one, I think would be fine, just get it a little bit newer. And then, the only one I've talked to, the police will have a car next year, but this funding covers that car. And then Jeff is gonna replace a 1-ton, which is a smaller, one with a plow. And so his would be the only one we might need to shore up, but you can always do it in next year's, warrant as well. So Jeff's is the only one I felt that, you know, it's fairly low on here, but Jeff just got a six-wheeler for $250,000 too, so. I think this is okay this
Okay,
year.
alright. I'm not, I don't really have
Yeah, but,
an opinion other than to say,
yeah,
this is a decent year to do that if
These are the balances as of December.
if there was anything that needed some shoring up.
What's the balance right now for the highway department?
I can tell you.
Cause, it's a one-ton, you said?
Yeah, it's a
Small
one ton, so you're looking at probably about 100,000 when you fund it. I would think, on a fully, maybe even a little bit more with a fully set up plow on it, and aluminum body. So, I don't know what the common trust funds is,
That's just the, cemeteries.
I'll stick to the ones that won't go to schools, I'll just go to the regular ones down the bottom here.
Well, even just to answer Michael's question about
Yeah.
what's the highway,
Right, if we were getting 20 and it cost 100, that's in 5
The
years.
ending month balance is 36,000, so we're gonna have 50, so you might be looking at bumping his to 50 next year.
Unless you
Or
want,
taking some out of taxation as well, which isn't bad. The maintenance fund, which is the KFTC, which is what he talked about, the logging, was at 18,000. The theater restoration is still 571 sitting in there. Fire department's at 144,000, so fire department is looking fairly decent. And the transfer station's at 80,519.
Something on the back.
I see where you're going, you, to up it a little bit now would be the opportunity now.
why not even just do something simple like bring it from 20 to 25?
That's what I'm thinking, you read my mind.
How much of your work is done already?
I'm not done yet, I can make changes before next
Okay,
week.
I'm good with that, because that's the only one I felt earlier was
Mhm.
low than the other ones.
And that makes it equal to the transfer station one,
MPD,
and the PD one.
I'm in agreement with
Makes,
that.
yeah, I think that would be a wise thing to do.
I know that if I'm looking at the different departments, his is the next department with a need that I can see. The police one's already covered by what we've already
I got it,
scheduled
yep,
every other
yep.
year.
Yeah, so that would be, I would make that, recommendation.
I think you have
Okay.
concurrence, Dave, concurrence.
And it's such a close rounding number that it's not even gonna impact the.
Which
taxes.
one is that one?
It's number
11.
11.
Number 11, so 20 to 25.
Okay, 25, okay.
And you didn't even need to come and speak to it.
Yeah, that was the only one when I had gone through this earlier that I thought was a little bit lower. That might be because of that
Good,
purchase.
I'm happy with that, I think that's a smart thing. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
that being said, do we wanna make a motion on these current warrant articles as written
Sure.
and amended tonight?
Yep.
So I'll make a motion that we accept the warrant articles as written in front of us with the two small changes we just made tonight.
To 11 and 13
Yeah.
are the changes.
11 is to change it from 20,000 to 25,000. And number 13 is just putting in, the words up to. On the dollar amount of the one.
I'll second that motion.
Motion been made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we have an official motion, Lean, for you to go forward on,
Got it.
and we'll keep these for our own mailboxes.
So for the public hearing, cause there are no other meetings between now and then, you will get the latest, greatest with
Yes.
everything inserted, and then the footer will have an updated date.
Okay,
Because, we made these changes.
all right. Let's review the revenue budget, and any kind of changes in that. The revenues, again, I'm gonna just go to the bottom page on that.
So
And
I
we've gone through
typically,
those.
I'll just try to keep my voice short, but I typically provide the board with an Excel worksheet that's, enlarged for easy presentation at the public hearing. And I printed the, revenue report as of today. I've done some additional reconciling, found a few, outstanding interest accruals, so we increased our revenues. If you look at the last page on the Excel, the big sheet, $408, so I've taken that into account, that what you are presenting and offsetting the, operating budget is true to date with no, with all revenues entered. The,
So our total revenues is, 1,309,500,
which is the projected, yeah.
yep, projected. And our excess revenues are 265,575,
Which is correct,
which is the number I gave you today to insert into our selectmen's message.
yeah, cause it went up $408 after I made the change. Last week you reviewed this and there was an excess of 265,167, so it went up slightly.
So again, keep this in your folders, and review it on your off time this week, and if you see anything that sticks out to you,
No, and Dan, I just wanna point out the room and meal snacks, we always go conservative on that, but it's a moving target.
this is Dana.
Dan, yes.
Yep,
And so that's a correct, because last year we would say that we got a windfall, but there's no guarantee we'll get a windfall this coming year.
Well, they
and
also,
when does that
October,
happen? Oh,
they also said that in their biannual budget, that there was a potential for the meals and rooms and meals distribution be lower. So we don't wanna get caught
Ahead of
up
ourselves.
in increasing it too much and then having to deplete our
reserve,
surplus, yeah.
surplus, yeah.
Okay, let's review any, 2026 operating budget. Any final changes?
Okay, again, I gave you the system generated report, expenditure worksheet. One has detailed notes, which, you guys may have reviewed last week, as a first draft, which was what was, included from the department head's, budget notes, and then a short one, so you can see that the bottom line on the last page is the same, but if you wanna look at it on a larger scale, again, I did the Excel worksheet for Dave's benefit, or the chairman's benefit, so that you can look and refer to any of the notes of what has changed.
And why we started doing this, Dana, is at town meeting, when we go through our budget, if people have questions for us, we can go through and read these notes real quick and say, you know, this department basically is COLA, for increases, and then the other ones that have additional notes on them, the highway workers added and whatnot.
This is where I really, I applaud the town administrator for putting those notes for us, because it makes our job a little bit easier, thank you, Lean. You see on the side,
oh,
those
okay.
notes,
Yeah,
it helps explain where the major increases are, or decreases.
okay.
And that's not on the public copy, but she puts it on our copy.
So last meeting that the board reviewed this at, there were still some outstanding expenditures that we
Bills
were
coming
aware
in,
of. And those decreased the lasting budget by $13,888. And so everything has been paid to date and we closed the books for 2025 expenses, so that this should not change between now and your public hearing.
Did we end up paying the gravel crush?
Yeah, that's taken out of here.
That is,
He only had like $18 left in his budget,
okay.
but he used it.
So that was, an 8.21% increase, and that includes the COLA for the entire town
Correct.
in the budget.
And then, at your,
Where do you see
Workshop
that
here?
percentage?
on the last page, at the workshop, you had asked Chris to look at the sixth officer and make some adjustments.
Yeah,
So those numbers have been applied in the police department line.
so just so you guys are aware, Chris did come back and adjust his numbers, to bring it down.
Okay.
Some more time, not 3 months, but I think a couple months worth.
Yeah, that was per our request last meeting, and he acknowledged he'd get that right to Lean.
And he gave us the $5,000 prior, so,
So his numbers are on page 5, and you can see the note at the bottom, I put, the increase is $137,697, but he decreased it $7,091 from the 1/8 Board of Selectmen meeting. So you asked him to do that on the 13th, he came back, and that's what this budget reflects.
yeah. And, so if you continue down through this page, Lean has our total budget. minus the actual that we spent for that budget in 2025, the lapsing amount of 245,354. And then excess revenues applied to that brings us to a total of 510,929. We're gonna leave 50,000 in the rainy day fund surplus, so it gives us 460,929 to apply to taxation this year. And we have the overlay from the utility settlement, that was done in December of another 200,000, giving us a total to apply to taxation of 660,929 to reduce our budget.
And it does continue on to the next page, I tried to get it all in last one, but, this would involve the additional articles and what the impact, well, all of them, basically. Article 7 is your operating budget, which is a $2.77 impact. Last year, a municipal tax rate with other warrant articles, it was $3.16, so the operating budget itself is 39 cents less on the tax impact. Article 8 through 12 is an 18 cent impact, so that 39 cents now drops to 21 cents. And then there's also other things that could potentially impact the, tax rate, which would be the overlay that the board
Lean,
has
how
set.
could it be 39 cents different?
It's just the operating budget, now I'm adding and
Yeah,
outlining.
but why would it be, our operating budget is just slightly higher than last year, so it shouldn't be a 39 cent savings.
This comment here, 2025 municipal tax rate includes everything. The capital reserves, the purchases, all the articles.
I'm looking at your very last page on this
Yeah,
block.
yeah,
Are you on it?
so Article 7 is the operating budget, $2.77 on the tax rate.
Yeah,
I should have put parentheses around the $3.16, because we knew that that's what they had set the tax rate with. So I'm just applying this to the operating budget to show where our tax rate will be in 2026. And we're looking at 39 cents less than the $3.16. But then you have to add the other warrants, which is 18 cents.
it's 39 cents including the warrants on the previous year.
Yes, it does.
Yes, and so, but in this case here, we don't know what our tax rate is yet, so we have to add the, passing warrant articles, which is at 18 cents. So that brings that decrease to 21 cents. And then there's possibly, overlay set, and you mentioned, revals behind us, settlement is complete. I've been putting in $50,000, the overlay typically lapses at December 31st, but because we were in an appeal with a specific, resident or company, we had to earmark that 200,000, whereas this 50,000, or whatever we set it at, lapses and goes back into surplus. Reval behind us, it's possible the board can decide to decrease that to 50,000, but that won't happen until October. Or I'll discuss it with the board and say, we're getting ready to set the tax rate, we've had 3 abatements, applications that have been settled, where do you wanna set the overlay? And you can set it at 25, 20, and whatever does not get used or refunded to, taxpayers becomes surplus at the end of the year.
Yep.
Does that make sense, Dave?
Yep.
Okay, and then the veteran credits, that's an
So
automatic.
you didn't lower that overlay down from 50 like we talked about earlier?
You and I talked about it, but we don't do it here, I'm just giving you a case
So we
scenario
left
that,
it at 50 and we changed it in October.
that's not discussed here during the budget discussion. It will be brought up in June, but these are other items that could potentially change the bottom line.
So the overlay amount is like paying people back on extra paid taxes and
Yeah.
whatnot.
If they appeal.
Are there any overlays done for Eversource or Unitil on this budget?
No, it's the $200,000, we just got word that it's settled,
Right,
we
but-
don't,
That's not, I know that we're taking that back, cause we've saved 50,000 a year for the prior years.
part of the
So is there
settlement,
anything in this budget for overlays?
the abatements are due in March, and so I won't know that until then, but part of the agreement with these utility companies is that we settle, we come to an agreement, and then we no longer
So
file.
what I'm
payments.
asking is, other years, we've had the overlay, like if we owe somebody if they overpaid their taxes as a resident. And then we've also had a PSNH overlay. Do we have any PSNH overlay in any of these years now?
No, we're done, we're settled, we
That's
were
what I
just
thought.
settling the last 3 years.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Oh, yeah, so-
Again, the question that we were just bantering back and forth a couple weeks ago was, do we keep the gentleman who's been our lobbyist for this, advocate?
Yeah,
I said, Mr. Sansucci.
We say we kinda have to.
he's brought in a lot of revenue and he's,
Right.
prevailed in a lot
We
of.
pay him handsomely, but we're among almost 100 towns in New Hampshire that's paid him to basically go to bat for our benefit, for the residents' benefit, against the utility companies.
And it also cuts his costs to each municipality.
Right.
By by the fraction, because he's doing the same thing for everybody.
So there are a lot of numbers here, Dana, and I'd like to make sure that each of the selectmen take the time to go through the numbers and understand them. And if you don't, the way Lean does her breakdown, we've kinda cleaned it up. It used to hop around more, but we tried to drive it down to the bottom so you can see actually what it's costing. But sometimes it's confusing, cause you're doing it with warrants and without warrants in different sections. And that part to me, when you're doing the math in one section versus the other section, will get confusing.
Lee, I had one question.
Yeah,
That 600,000 has been already applied here?
I haven't always loved that way.
yeah,
because
yeah, on the warrant.
It's hard to
I,
get it all.
all I
together,
inserted was.
Now, the $660,000,
This is our town
right?
budget, and then the tax rate set is in October.
Right, so these numbers reflect that.
That's correct, they're all
That's
matched, they're all, yeah.
So,
Yeah, it'll take me a little bit, probably longer to review this, just to,
yeah,
for understanding of all the pieces.
yeah,
What I'm getting out of this though is that there's a 21-cent change, all other things being equal, from this year's tax to last year's
yeah.
tax rate.
Cause we had some big warrant articles last year, so that's
Yeah.
why.
Well,
And we
there
have
was the purchase of the
600,000.
land,
So
that
our
was like
budget-
39 cents.
Yeah, so our budget is fairly close. Now, the 18 cents, I didn't do the calcs, but it seems low this year on the 18 cents for all warrant articles. You tallied them, and that's what it is.
Yeah, because the one article to purchase is coming from capital reserve,
That's right.
Yeah,
and you
And
can.
the other ones are just capital, reserve.
This is the summary page if you want
yeah,
to
a lot of
look
them
at
were
this.
3 cents,
Right.
3 cents, if those were accurate numbers.
Yes, they are,
Okay.
yeah, I've looked at them over and over again,
The only change we made was an extra 5,000 for one
which
capital.
I will make after tonight.
You know, we've had some heavy purchases in the last few years, where we've had to juggle, as you said, from one department, Rob from Peter to pay Paul. And the nice thing about it, our department heads have all done that. Never had any complaint with them, and then next year we've plussed their department up and took care of their purchases, so. We did the large 6-wheeler with Jeff, we've done the ambulance, the new fire truck, and the command vehicle with them. We've done a car every other year, or sometimes every year, for the police department, because they've had cars blow up. So we were able to get through that, now we're on the every other year schedule, which I didn't put that in the selectmen's message, but I almost did.
Lee, can I ask one piece of data for Dave? The $660,000, can you put it equal to how much on the tax rate impact that is, to dollars?
The revenue?
Yes.
Of
No,
what
of the, now there's, we're
He
applying
wants you to do the math backwards to see how much we're saving the taxpayers by applying that.
660. I think that's a good statistic to have for the,
So if you just take the 660 and divide it into the assessment,
right.
and then multiply it by 1,000, then you'll know that.
So for our next thing, if you could just give a little, just so we have it for the tax.
So-
Right, I think that'd be helpful, Dave.
So this is a summary page of everything we just looked at, which is,
So, I'm probably gonna have a comment about the similar thing, the 200K that's coming back, right, that's a one-time thing
Correct.
Yes.
that's gonna happen. It was taken out over a 4-year period of time,
That's
right?
right,
50,000,
starting
50K.
2017, 18, 19,
Yeah.
20.
I wish there was a way to spread that out over the next 4 years, as an example.
But I can tell you what you're doing is, I don't know if you remember when the school found that we had $1 million down there in Goffstown, that they were holding.
I remember that.
And then when that came back to the taxpayers, there was all this discussion about, wow, wouldn't it be nice if we use this $1 million for this, or this, or this? And it'd been held back there for years from the taxpayers,
Right.
when truly, their rates were going up every year, and they deserved it back. And so, this is the first year we give that money back that we've been kinda setting aside.
Yeah.
Almost like a rainy day fund if we did not win the court case. And so, now that the court case was won in December, I think as quick as we can give it back, we ought to.
It's almost a philosophy is, it's not our money, it's the taxpayers' money, and we're returning the
Yeah,
money.
no, and I'm just thinking about like,
Right.
the concept of, it was taken out over 4 years, maybe,
And,
you know,
and,
give it
and we
back
had
over
similar
4
things
years,
when we had that
because
chunk
there
coming
might
back
be
from the school
yeah,
that people were
This is the time
discussing.
to do it, because you should make a motion to use that money and propose it against. This is the time to talk about it, Dana, what you're saying, doing right now.
yeah, well, that's why
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just bringing it up because I haven't,
No, but I think what the pros is it keeps it level, it decreases level rather than have a big drop one year. But again, why are we keeping the taxpayers'
Cause
money?
next year you're gonna have excess surplus again. You're gonna have excess revenues next year, cause of the way we budget things. So every year
Okay.
you're gonna have that to go back. And, rooms and meals, say it goes up huge next year. There will be other things we've found every year that we're able to give back to the taxpayers.
Okay.
Ultimately, it's our financial responsibility, but I feel that after doing the reevals, the closer we can get, the more money we can give back to the taxpayer in this 1 year. Cause you gotta remember, when we're holding it, we're just holding it in our coffers. Now, our rainy day fund is like 500,000, and we're already putting another 50 in there. But generally, there's between 5 and 7 or 800,000, if you look at how they calculate it out, through the audit, that's sitting there every year that doesn't go back to the taxpayers.
yeah. What do we get for an interest rate on money that's in
Very
capital
low.
reserve?
We do get some, but
Do you have any idea?
Well, it's usually about $100 to $300 a month.
Yeah,
It's
just
the treasure.
percentage wise, I'm wondering, like, is it,
It can't be a lot, because this is the
Maybe a couple
managed,
percent.
we only have one
Okay.
fund, one
Okay.
fund that earns interest.
we,
Nothing's invested.
she is, we looked into that in prior years, and the treasurer is, she can only do certain things with that money, because she's audited by, you know, the
The
whole
rainy
town,
day
the
fund.
rate.
I'm talking about even all the other capital reserve.
Yeah, I am
funds.
too.
Are they all of the same
No,
rate?
Yeah.
capital reserve's separate, that's what Nahum
The
should be
capital
doing.
reserve, she does put that in a special fund,
Yeah,
and those interest rates are higher,
they are.
they are.
She doesn't touch it, the treasurer only touches the operating budget surplus. The capital reserve is held with the trustee of the trust funds.
Well, they get more interest on them,
Correct.
Yeah, they do.
Only recently,
yeah.
the
Oh, okay.
department, was the charitable trust, they really came down on them and said, hey, this isn't right, you guys are holding all this
The
money.
biggest thing, if you see her in here, the treasurer, when she's in here signing those checks, sit down and have a conversation with her about it, cause we did have an in-length discussion with her in other years. Why aren't we earning more money on this money sitting in there? And she's limited in what she can do.
Okay.
So, we did have some of those conversations with her. 'Cause I'm
On
wondering
occasion,
the same thing.
she'll take a certain dollar amount, put it in a CD for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days.
The hardest thing I have a problem with is the rainy day fund is our overall town, like pool of money, and that continues to change, so if you look and say we have 565,000 in there, and October comes, that amount has always changed, it's never stayed the same that I can see when I come from now till October, and that part to me is frustrating, cause you're like, that's the rainy day fund, we haven't spent any emergency money, so that should never change, and it always does.
It's because the bottom line total budget, which we cover under that retainage, includes increases for the local school, the state education, and the county. So if we have an increase and there's overall $1 million increase, that's what adjusts and changes the percent retainage. It goes down, even though we're maintaining a level budget for the town side.
I know, but I'm just telling Dana, the hardest part for me to fathom is, you put that rainy day fund aside, and you think it stays there, and it does not, it's a moving number. And, you'll learn it as you go through it, and you'll be like, why is it,
So Dana, we're the only piece of the pie that can hold money. The local school cannot, they have to return it at tax rate setting. The state ed is the same thing, and the county only does, I don't know how they, I don't believe, if anything, there's a very small percentage that it can retain, but everything goes back. Just like the library trustees, when they came in,
Yeah.
she said that they may have money to give back. She gave me an updated, which is reflected in here, she reduced their asking budget by $111, cause that's what they had in excess, and they're not allowed to hold any extra money.
So in case our town assessment was off on those, we decided, actually it was decided before I was here that they were holding a certain amount of money. And as those court cases came, they released the money, and this last chunk was just released from 2017,
Yep, 18 and 19.
18.
This is the utilities. Oh, the utility overlays.
All the other overlays lapse at the end of the year, but this particular was in reserve.
So if we kept that, it would basically be in our rainy day overlay, it's no longer in that one, cause it's no needed.
Well, let me throw this out, maybe, I don't know if this is a wild idea or not. Let's say you took 100K of that 200 and you added it, you took a bunch of those capital reserves and you increased those by 100K, a cumulative amount of 100K, and don't put the money in next year.
I
To
think,
pull it in, so then, the effect of that would be, you're spreading the 200K over a 2-year period of time, as opposed to a single year period of time.
I follow you, but the capital reserves are set up through the needs that are set up through that, whole capital reserve
Capital improvement.
The
improvements
CIP,
that we went through.
yep,
And so to alter from that for a purchase down the future, when we're already setting money aside each year for the future purchases,
yep,
would be like holding on to their money, in my thought,
yep.
for no good reason.
Okay,
But if you get money back, say you get from the government, let's say, when you get a refund check out, it'd be nice to say, oh, save that till next year because I'm gonna make
well, I
more
do
money
that,
next
I
year.
apply it to my next year's taxes.
But I take mine, cause I figure I wanna use my money.
So, again, that's what I kind of do, I just say, if I don't need it right now, or it's a,
Right?
some type of a,
If there was a need, I'd say we use it for a need, but the thing is, I think Dave's, example, when the school money came back,
yeah,
I mean, they were almost in pitchforks, we want our money, we want it now, that's our money.
yeah.
And people were coming up with all these creative ideas, I'm like, whoa. You guys have taxis, let's say elderly people in town, they're
And you-
having trouble
And
paying
you hear
their
that
taxes
I'm
each
not
year.
coming up with like
Yeah.
100K, pavilion or something.
Right,
I'm
yeah.
actually just saying,
Yeah,
if you put the extra money in this year into the capital reserve funds, you can actually have warrant articles that don't pull it next year.
and if there were capital reserves that we were behind on,
Yeah,
I'd probably agree with that, but we're on a regular basis now.
we're on
A
track.
couple
so-
years back, we were not on track.
Yeah,
We robbed people,
so we
paid
would
Paul.
be trying to,
We're much better
Phil,
now.
Oh,
Fill those up.
I'm looking at
and
this,
and again, I'm not proposing that because I think we're behind. I'm actually proposing it to avoid the taxation next year
Yeah,
on those warrant articles.
yeah,
And use half of it this year and half of it next year. But it's a different idea that.
it's a no-sum game, really, we're moving the money,
Yes,
instead of giving it back
It's-
to the people.
well, no, it's kind of giving it back over a 2-year period,
Yeah.
because you'd be lessening the taxation in 2027.
And if there were a need, I would probably be for that.
Okay, well, again, I'm not addressing a need, I'm just looking at spreading it out. But
Yeah.
whoever's a property owner in town this year will benefit by that full amount.
right, but the thing is, and what,
If
all these new people moving in and they get it back, I mean,
there's an argument to be said for that, someone who
Yeah.
moves
I've
in
heard
doesn't
that
deserve
argument.
that money.
correct.
Well, when the school
Next
money
year.
came back, those people just moved to town, they didn't help pay that $1 million.
I know, yeah.
But they all got it back, but, you'd be surprised you're getting it back, but the budget is still pretty low, your taxes, depending on what happens on the school end, most likely will go up.
Alright, so I've stated my idea, I withdraw any action to take on it, but it was just an idea I wanted to.
I would've pushed your idea if we had a true need that needed to be,
And I'm glad you, at least, we brought that highway one up by 5K.
yes.
Yeah, I am too, cause I saw that on the first one. And, I just
Because
wanted to
that is
just leave it.
the next department in need, and it is it's slightly short at this moment in time
Right.
from where we would probably want it to be.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay,
done.
So the summary worksheet that I have after the,
I thought we were done with
no,
it.
no, this is actually the expenses and revenues combined. So if you look at that, the summary page,
So this one here,
yeah, you have at the top, Article 7, operating budget, the dollar amount from surplus, which we'll vote on, right? Projected revenues, from taxes, is the balance after our revenues, and tax impact, 277. See that, Dave, on your,
Are you back on this?
Across the top, Dave, right across the
It's
top right here.
it's just
Yeah,
a
I
nice,
think I put it back in here.
okay, it's just a nice clean, overview, and then you have your
This
three
one page
articles.
overview.
One page, yeah.
Yeah, and then you have your, other articles, which I will now adjust the highway, but, these will be raised from taxes, deposited into the capital reserves, and the tax impact for those other articles are 18 cents. So that plus your operating budget is $2.95. And then your, last year, you set the tax rate, budget was, tax rate was $3.16. So we're still lower than last year's tax rate with all the
The
other
warrant
articles.
Okay, great.
I just wanna say, for the record, it's deceiving sometimes because the tax rate may have gone down, but the appraisals have gone up and down. So it's a zero-sum game,
Mhm.
and a lot of
Well, no,
people.
no,
That's
this
not
has already
the
been
case.
adjusted to the new,
Okay,
The new
assessments.
with the new assessments.
Yes, yeah.
So that's a true reduction.
But I'm saying from an individual standpoint, my house is worth more, my property's worth more.
Yeah, but your tax rate went down, so.
My tax rate went down.
If
but-
your tax rate didn't go down, then you could make that statement.
Oh, but what I'm saying, I would've liked to have gone down a lot more.
Alright, Michael.
I'll just make an observation, it's interesting,
Yeah.
I assume based on rounding errors,
Yeah,
when you change that 20 to a 25,
Yeah.
it stays at 3 cents.
it does, that's the way I'm looking
It's
at it,
minimal, yeah.
it won't be any
It's
impact.
free money.
Everything stays the same, Danny.
Come shopping with me, Dana.
Yeah. I'll go.
You'll learn in October, when you review these numbers against October's numbers, you'll be like, how can that be? We just did this in March.
Yeah,
It'll be different.
The DRA uses the overlay number as a,
Keep
she calls
these
it a
all.
plug.
And
And
when you
so
review them,
sometimes it's
Yeah.
over the
Watch that.
50,000, if that's
Okay.
what you decide to use, and it may be 47,000,
And that's
because she needs
frustrating.
the rounding to, complete the tax rate setting. So just give you that.
okay, now we're reviewing draft MS, that was what we just did.
No, this is the,
636.
it's exactly what you're voting on the warrant, but the Department of Revenue has their own form. It's called the MS 636.
Did I put that back in here?
so is this is the
Oh,
official?
right here.
Official document that I have to post with that warrant that you guys just
So we
amended.
can't sign it without those changes?
No, I'll have to make those changes.
That is for Article 11.
Right, so when you read through the different pages, Dana, for educational purposes, this is the summary sheet, that I took all the numbers from
This
the
one is
MSI
the-
program, yep,
Yeah,
and then I verified, tested the MS 636,
okay,
so we match. So that's the last number on page 10 of the MS 636. I just wanted to give that to you because we won't be meeting before next week unless
okay.
you want a workshop, and,
I assume that's subtotal, right? Not
yes.
subtotal.
Oh, it is, yeah, I missed that. Sub, not P. Okay.
Okay,
Hey, when you, Articles 8 through 13, special warrant articles,
Yeah,
you get 135 plus 92.
yeah,
Did you use the 135 to calculate out your 18 cents? Not the 227, right?
no, because that's other revenue. That's why it's in a separate column, but I had to add them to the side so I could match the
it
DRA
should be just the one.
back page.
Yeah, so what I'm asking you is you use the 135 to calculate your
18
Taxes,
cents.
yes.
18 cents, okay.
Because the other one's from capital reserve revenue, so it's
Okay.
actually technically other.
Yeah, if you look actually, I just looked here, this 18, right, adds of these threes, it's a 9, 16, 18.
Okay, perfect. Rounded, right?
Yeah,
Okay. That's done.
Okay.
The last, meeting we had, we did some clarification.
do you wanna make a motion to use the surplus that you guys discussed tonight?
We already made that motion last week.
Oh,
when
you
we
did,
weren't
okay,
there.
alright. Not sure if it changed,
Yeah.
I wasn't here.
So we did make that motion, but if you want a clarification,
But I did apply the 50,000 to surplus like you did, and that was the remainder, cause that's gonna fluctuate because of that one batch that we spent 13,000, and then the extra $400 in everything.
just to make it clear, I'll make a motion to use $660,929.
And change.
$929.
To reduce taxation in this ensuing year,
I'll second that.
and to put 50,000 into the rainy day fund from our excess revenue.
And Dana, second.
So the 50 comes off of the 660?
No,
No,
No, it's
that was
already been,
So it's already been done.
that's correct.
Okay, this motion's been made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There, that way you have it,
Thank you.
so I don't think we had a consensus that we didn't make a
Yeah, but the
motion.
amount changed, basically, she had more bills come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, Lee would like some clarification on the part-time PTO. I thought it was clear after our meeting, but, she did a couple of options she asked us to read. The second option is the one that I think we had come up with afterwards and not done we got rid of the quarterly hours.
The top section is your discussion in last week's meeting. There's two conflicting things there, so I just want clarification, because when I gave Hope this motion, she said it's still unclear to her, so for consideration on that first.
So, in the meeting minutes, she mixed your quarterly, which you asked in the beginning, Dana,
Yeah,
kinda with mine, and at the end, we agreed to do mine where the department heads were the ones to notify them at the first of the year, and then any changes, throughout the year, so if you read option number 2, it more clearly spells it out.
let me just ask, and this is probably for clarification.
Yeah.
We don't want there to be a roller coaster of like one pay period to the next of it going up or down and up and down, and we said that there should be a limited number of
Changes
changes.
during the year.
And should that be monthly, should it be quarterly, that the department head can?
We said,
make-
I think we said quarterly.
I think we did say quarterly.
Okay,
Yeah,
So-
and they could tell her quarterly, or, what I thought we ended up with when we said our last motion was, if there were any changes during the year, it was up to the department head to notify.
That is correct, but we don't want the notification every week.
No,
But let's say I come in this week, the thing is, I have a change, my worker is now working in the second level.
Yeah,
The change won't go in until the end of the quarter. In other words, it's changed quarterly. Now, we're not gonna change it every week, like you said, not every month, but the thing is, I would change this work, and this person's now working X number of hours, the change will go in the next quarter.
no, goes in immediately. What I did is,
Then-
department heads were to
it's-
notify at the first of the year what the regular scheduled hours are.
correct.
And if any changes happen through the year, it was up to the department head to change them. Nothing to do with quarterly, just whenever they had them.
Oh, no, no,
Well,
I,
she-
yeah,
think
I
it'll
think
be
there,
that
I think there needs to be at least some kind of limits to the number of
You
times.
know our hours don't change it often, right?
Well, I do know that, but I don't want a department head to be able to come in on March 1st and say, I have a change, and then on March 15th, I have a change, and then on March 30th, I have a change.
Well, if you had
that's why we're
different,
going quarterly.
if you had different employees, you may have that case,
Okay, that's true,
okay?
that is true.
So you,
I think
say
for
like
the-
the highway, you got 4.
I think for the same person, I don't know how this should be worded, but I think it makes sense not to have a,
I think you're overthinking, cause the hours haven't changed since we hired any of the new people that
Okay.
have transferred, so. They're all working pretty regular hours. And the one the previous year worked only 16 hours, so, but they didn't change during the years at all that I know of.
Okay,
I mean, I don't know what you have to add to that, I mean,
it's a living document, if this 1 year, if we keep it real simple this year, it's fine. If it becomes a burden for the bookkeeper and for, we have a roller coaster of hours of changing all the time, then we implement a change, and we do it immediately.
can the office,
yes, but I think you addressed it here, and it's behind that. This top one is your minutes, that's confusing, and it's
Okay.
asking you guys to just add a line
Okay.
under the first, bullet 2, tier accrual rate. The second page, I think accrual adjustment, when a part-time employee has an adjustment in their regularly scheduled hours confirmed by the department head, their accrual will be adjusted accordingly in the following month. That's self-explanatory.
yeah, I think
That's a limitation, it puts a limitation
I think
on it.
that actually helps.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's what I'm
If a
going.
change is made on March 15th, that change gets implemented on
April
April 1st, because that's actually, that makes sense only because, you're only doing the accrual on the first of the
The
month
first of the month,
anyway.
yes,
So it totally, like, you're not gonna change anything more than
Midnight.
once a month anyway.
correct. So your changes here will be good, but this meeting
Okay,
kind of,
you follow that, Dave?
Yeah, are we getting rid of 3 or basis of accrual? Accrual will be
No.
calculated
it's
and
3,
posted on the first of each month, I standard.
it's just separation.
Oh, did you put my
Yes,
document in
it's
here?
behind it.
Okay,
There's got so many versions out there, Dana, I just have to get it out of my head.
So it doesn't have anything to do with this, option 2.
No, the option 2 is just the first above the tiers. It's just adding a sentence there, and then,
yeah, how this is worded in this document makes total sense,
and it will with this as well.
yeah.
I just want the first line,
Yeah, the
number
three-
2, bullet 2,
The section 4 there, that accrual
Yeah.
adjustment
yeah,
in blue,
Yeah.
Dave?
Yeah,
Yeah, so if you read that,
yeah.
they hadn't seen that, they hadn't seen this one, so that's why I'm bringing it to discussion and motion.
That's fine for adjustment, but it doesn't have anything to do with,
It's gonna be out of this one, you're gonna pick option 1 or 2 tonight, and that's gonna go on
right,
number
that's what I'm
2.
saying is, we're missing a section. I understand what you put in here, and I'm
Yeah.
fine with that.
yeah,
But we're missing this section on how it's, so look at option number 2, tiered accrual rate. Eligible part-time employees shall accrue PTO annually based on their regularly scheduled hours. The department head shall communicate to the administrative office staff the scheduled hours of each part-time employee annually. Any changes in scheduled hours through the year shall be communicated to the administrative office in writing and be used to calculate the applicable tiered accrual rate as follows.
and what is the as follows piece?
That's the part you
Your
have.
That's the
3
blue.
tiers,
That's my blue part here,
yes, well, that's black on here, and
It's
Well, it'll
then
be as
number
follows,
3, 4.
that's gonna be right up here.
Right there.
oh,
It
Yeah.
replaces number 2,
It's gonna be
It
under A,
inserts
right?
number 2,
yeah.
complements 2,
oh,
and then,
oh,
So I think we're fine, let's get it all on one, you know what we're looking for now? And part 2
I know
is
what I'm looking
correct.
for, I think this document is correct.
Yes, she's only adding the sentence, the red sentence right there.
To this document?
Yes,
yes.
look at option 2, the red sentence, the red part goes
Yeah.
into, the tiered accrual rate paragraph.
Yeah,
She
Oh,
just
no.
adds that for clarity.
Okay, I get it. So this probably needs to say, instead of, communicate to the administrative office staff in writing and be used to calculate the applicable tiered accrual rate as follows.
Yeah.
And that's the chart right
Does
here.
that-
this is the annual comment, and then
Yeah.
you on number 3 say accrual adjustment addressed on that
Yeah,
blue.
number 4, actually.
Yeah, but it will be number 4, yeah,
I think it's crystal clear.
that's what we're trying.
Yeah, I think if
I mean, you're
you,
Okay,
making minutes
okay.
in motion, just like,
Okay, I'm fine with
you're,
that.
see-
okay.
As long as, I think this wording goes in there, you're just
Yes.
adding the red
Just
part.
adding
Yes.
the red into the
Okay.
blue, the blue's good.
So
Blue's good.
option 2 and the blue and everything that's on this version 5 email, January 15th from.
take the,
I think that, let me just state this.
Okay.
The sentence about any changes in scheduled hours through the year shall be communicated, to me, that's redundant on what is said in section 4 on accrual adjustment.
No, on four, it just basically tells how the adjustment will be made.
When a part-time employee has an adjustment in their regularly scheduled hours as confirmed by their department head, their accrual rate will be adjusted accordingly
Right.
in the following month.
Right, it just tells you when it will be implemented. The red tells us how to do it. They gotta do it by annually or by.
In writing.
In writing.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm just working with my bookkeeper, she's gotta
I'm fine.
implement these changes and.
There's nothing that
I see what
conflicts.
you- I see
It
what
doesn't-
It's kind of redundant, but, redundancy doesn't hurt, there's nothing that conflicts here, so.
And I'll call this a living document, so we gotta make changes, we
I'm
can
fine.
make them.
No,
I'm ready to.
No
I'm
more
not
for
gonna
this year.
wrestle the alligator.
This is like pushing a boat down the street with no water.
so are we all set?
That's good.
Is there a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to take option 2 added to the currently proposed blue, the document with blue, editing.
Does that work? I just,
With blue editing as submitted by the Selectmen
Yeah, if we,
Lavoy.
I thought I had a version on this at the bottom, but I guess.
no, it's in the header, and I usually try to put it in here
Okay,
where I got it, but I.
It's
went to
version
email.
5B.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
and it's
5B,
dated.
So you have it.
It's right on the, I wrote it in.
So can you add that to your motion then?
I did.
Oh, you just did?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
I'll second
second this
that.
motion?
okay.
I'll
got it.
third it, all in favor, aye.
Thank you.
I told you it was gonna be a quick meeting.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay. We're done those, regular meeting agenda, and we're gonna go off to, do some, mailbox items. So, first thing on the agenda, we've got Nate here. We have a letter from Nate Naris asking the board of selectmen for their intention for the position of road agent. And I'll try and answer your question as good as we can at this point. We haven't had an actual confirmation talk at the board with Jeff, but I did talk with Jeff myself, and, his plan at this point was to stay on with the town at least another 2 years as our road agent. And Jeff brought it to the fact that when he gets done, he didn't think it was something that should be voted on at our town meeting. And so you'll see in our warrant last year, we had if the town wanted to change it to, something that the select board actually hired.
Yeah, I was saying for the, town meeting when you,
So that passed, so our intention
brought
this
up your
year,
intentions there. It
our
didn't sound
intention
like
this
it,
year is to work with Jeff,
it didn't sound like that last year.
yeah, and finish out his term
Right.
as he, not his term as in working, but his term is up this year.
Mm-hmm.
So we plan on, hiring him if he wants the job until he finishes and retires. And basically, he's told us it'll be about another 2 years, and as you know, that can change any year.
I think you're leaving things in limbo for him.
Why?
I
We're
mean,
gonna
he
be
could
doing it,
potentially work till he's 80.
yeah, so we're gonna be doing it before March. No, it's hired like any employee, yeah, the employee will be able to quit, leave, retire, anything at that point.
And we'll get.
And
on board.
or
And-
be dismissed if the work's not being done, we have the option of dismissing him too. So it's a win-win for everybody. Are you interested in the position also?
Yes.
Then I would say, the board has not heard the intentions of Jeff officially, if he wants the job. This intention of this board that we were gonna allow him to work another 2 years to finish out his retire as employee. And at that point, but thing is, as you said, things can change. I don't see him going to 80, I see him going for another 2 years. And he could come in next week and tell us, I'm not gonna be working for you guys, which is fine. And then we will have to advertise the position and look for candidates.
It makes things difficult for the next person in line.
No,
when
because-
he's making the decision.
No, once he makes his decision to retire, let's say.
Yeah.
In advance of that, we'll probably list the job so we can hire a person. Just like if Lean retired, we would hire her replacement, well, I'll give you a better example. Donna just retired. We hired Donna's replacement so that there'd be a month overlap, so they could learn their duties, with the old department head and go through it, and we would try and do something similar with Jeff's when he does come to retire, we'll have an overlap and we'll set up a set of job standards for his job that will be posted so that people can apply, for his position. And hopefully we'll hire that person before he actually leaves the town. You know, but
That's
this-
pretty standard operating procedure.
yeah. You had a question, Leo?
So is this a contract?
It will be a
Verbal?
hiring, not really a contract.
Okay,
because
right.
we'll have a job
Employment at will.
description.
Right, so that's what I was trying to get across, is that,
Right.
you know, for.
The only
Nate's-
employee we have a contract with is the chief of
No,
police.
right, but for Nate's benefit, I want him to know that he can ask you guys to be interviewed at any time.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he could, but if we don't have a position open.
think that
Right,
was-
but you can say, well, we're all set. Well, you could say, sure, come on and we'll discuss it, right?
Yeah.
So that's my
That
point,
was-
so
that
at any
was
time of the
The
year.
intent of my letter, is
Yeah.
to start a conversation between myself and the board.
I mean, we could do that obviously anytime, and,
But to be fair to other candidates, we have no opening right now, we do not know the exact intentions of the road agent now. Until those facts are delineated, we have to find out what's going on. And he's been working well enough for the town that I'm sure he had the courtesy of letting us know, his intentions. And he already announced about a year ago that his intention is to work 2 years beyond once we converted the position. And that's what we're going on right now. And when, say we came to that point 2 years from now, well, how will we handle it? Well, 6 months before, at least 6 months before his departure date, we'd start advertising, put the specifications of his job out there, put the salary ranges out there, and start accepting candidates. And then pursuing with interviews as such. Like we would do for any other job in town, with the exception of the police chief.
so the town clerk notified us last week that Jeff would be up in March for election if he was still being elected, which we changed that last year to a hired position.
I was
So-
under the impression last year you were going to appoint somebody from a different town.
No,
That's what I heard.
Oh, I think that statement was that it didn't limit the town to hiring someone who lived in
No.
town, but could broaden the options if somebody in Goffstown or Ware, or somebody
so
from
when the
CDL.
position does become open after Jeff retires, when we put it out, the road agent would no longer have to come from this town. If we think somebody's more qualified from a different town, we could hire them.
Right.
I understand that, it didn't seem to me that it was going to be Jeff that was going to be appointed.
Yeah, Jeff's the one that brought this to us, we didn't bring it to him,
Huh.
and
He
he just
didn't
thought,
bring it to us saying that I wanna be done next March. He
he brought
actually
it
said,
to,
I wanna bring it because when I do decide to be done, I don't think you should have it as an elected position. You should have it as a hired position.
What's the benefit?
The hired position allows us, to hire anybody, like, could be someone from out of town, most qualified, and not somebody who would just win potentially a popularity contest
Right.
for our road agent.
Right.
And that's what Jeff's concern was. You could potentially get someone that,
No experience.
with no experience in that field. And that's not what the town would desire. Wouldn't you agree with that?
I would agree with the town doing what's best in the best interest of the taxpayers.
Yeah.
It sounds like an appointment would be appropriate.
An appointment's is a interesting word, but it's essentially a hire.
like, you're right, instead of being elected, they're appointed by this board of selectmen on this current year, which is a hiring process.
It's a hire, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a different term to use than elected, so.
But it does expose us more if it's an elected position to potentially having someone win an election that's not qualified for the job. And we would want someone who has experience in
So our,
road matters.
And they are protected under that election too, so that's the issue, if you have a 3-year term, you can't get rid of the person.
Yeah, sure.
the biggest thing is, the road agent has always come into the, board of selectmen to tell them what they're doing for roads in the following year and this and that. And we have some control, we say, hey Jeff, we have a complaint on here, let's address this complaint,
I get it.
but
I mean, I get why
we, overall,
this is
she's
more
elected,
appropriate
yeah,
than
yeah.
than a
Popularity
a
contest.
popularity contest.
right.
To
So,
put it another way,
on those, we have job descriptions that we fill out for each job that we have in town. There was a large job description for her job, I'm sure that the road agent will have a job description.
Yeah, I'll be working on those after town meeting.
Lean will pull those from other towns, we'll pull what we like and leave out what we don't like.
yeah, I mean, you realize the uniqueness of Dunbarton,
Right.
42 miles worth of roads.
Yeah.
And you can't, town of Ware has 75 miles of dirt roads,
Yeah,
you know, so you can't take what Ware does and implement it into what Dunbarton is going to.
How many miles do we have?
42,
42.
maybe a couple more now.
might be 45 with the new developments.
Yeah,
But anyway, you're right, so we'll pull what we want from those other towns and leave out what we don't want. But we will use some surrounding towns and similar sized towns, even though they might be further up north, for our evaluation of that job need and requirements.
And upon Jeff's departure / retirement, whenever that will be, we're not gonna make a two-week decision and hire someone that fast. We're gonna advertise it for at least a month. And, like we would do for any position, to get a good handful of candidates. And we'd open up more if we had to, if we don't get candidates qualified enough. We wanna make sure we get a good choice for the town.
You probably wanna do that.
I'm sorry, say again?
I think you wanna do that. I think
Absolutely.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and hopefully there is some overlap where they, say somebody was hired that wasn't used to their towns going on like you do. That person would hopefully work with Jeff for a month or so to see what Jeff has worked on throughout the town, what his thoughts were for the next years coming up. You know, meet the employees and get to know the ins and outs of the town a little bit better.
Why doesn't he do that with me?
Well, cause you haven't been hired as a replacement road agent yet. You mean as
Okay,
an,
we'll make it official.
as an employee? But yeah, he certainly could if you were hired as a road agent replacement. But I think we're at least a year down the road.
Yeah, but the thing is, we have to know his intentions, and his intent is gonna come to March first will be, April first, what is it, end of March, right?
no, it's after
March
town meeting.
After town meeting.
His
Well,
term
We'll
ends
know his
March
intentions well before then, I'm sure.
So when you come close to retirement, a lot of times, one big mess up,
Way off from me. Way off.
but one big thing that happens in town, might say, you know, I've just had enough of this. Especially if financially you don't really need that, and, so you never know what's gonna happen with somebody, their retirement could come
That's a
faster.
what if or a
Yeah.
what if.
Well, it could be an illness.
Yeah.
But I know he did tell us a year or two when he was in here earlier, and, we haven't touched base with him to see, but
So that's why he put his truck back together.
I don't know about the truck being apart.
I hope that explains it for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think.
It's a better understanding.
Yeah, I think as you go forward, just be vigilant as far as watchful as what's going on, and,
Well, I think I have been, like,
okay.
the only thing I don't know of is the budget. His operating budget.
Well, we can tell you that right now, what is the budget this year?
It's in the book anyways.
It's in the book, is it a book, is it in the town
Yeah, it's
report?
all in the book, all the information's in
That's,
the.
I'm just saying, I don't pin through the budget, you know,
Well, the
make
thing
those
is,
decisions.
let's assume you would
so
be,
on and so forth.
let's say you would become a road agent, we would expect Jeff would have the overlap with the new person coming in to go over that, give you at least a briefing of what to expect.
Yeah, I don't take my words the wrong way, I think it's a good budget.
Oh,
It
yeah,
works
yeah.
very well with that budget.
But if you have no knowledge of what is in it, you're often, the person will be off in left field. And many times, any new, they usually talk to the town administrator to figure out which way is up a lot of times, when it comes to budgeting stuff. I tell you, we did as a board, we all do.
Okay,
It's also good understanding as to see how much work goes into that
right,
position. Whereas if you hire somebody that doesn't understand it, you can be called at 1 o'clock in the morning to go pick up a tree in the middle of the road.
yeah,
You know, they may not expect to do something like that.
right. Any other questions for us tonight? Thank you for coming in.
Oh, yes, one more.
Okay,
Would it be a good idea to discuss the position
with,
with the board? between myself
I think
and
at the
Lois.
time we do a actual, job requirements, it would be, we're kind of still green in our, new on the subject. We haven't even done a list of job requirements or any of that, so I think after that, and when you read down through what we're looking at, maybe that'd be a good time to come in and discuss that with us.
Cause he's elected, we don't have a job description per se, he just reports to the board.
All other departments right now, we have job descriptions for what they're doing, and this one we hadn't because he's always been elected, and people before him were
And
elected.
this is the year it's gonna be created.
So once we create that, we'll probably have you read through it, and then maybe you could come in and start meeting with us or talking with the board about it.
Alright,
Okay. Thank you for coming in, Nate.
may I be excused?
You can.
Hey,
Thank you.
be safe out there this weekend, Sunday night.
You'll be busy.
Everyone's gonna watch a football.
Okay, we have a public hearing notice. The Board of Selectmen will be holding our public hearing on the proposed budget and warrant for 2026, Thursday, February 5th, 2026, at 7:15 PM. And our snow date is February 12th, same time.
Lean, could you have available for that date, there's articles, the first articles which are on the ballot. The, planning board put together a great summary of what the article is, and they translated what the article is in plain common language, to the side. It'd be good for handouts. It's a
For the
one
public
page,
hearing?
for the public hearing, it's one,
Okay,
it's a
I'll
one
ask-
page.
I'll ask Christine.
And I think that should be posted on the website.
Because
too.
that's not an amendment to the zoning, it's
Well,
just
sign
subdivision, is it site, the one that you're talking about is the sign ordinance or
No,
something else?
It starts off, yes, number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then number 5, it talks about those,
Oh, it is, your meeting last night discussed all that.
right, they have a one pager which basically lists the warrant, and
Okay.
it has a great translation of what it actually means.
Right, so they know what they're voting for.
Thank you, and
We
that's
should
what,
get that into the Concord Monitor weekend paper, it's free,
okay,
and they will take that.
okay, she's got a copy of it right here.
I did notice bows were in there already.
They were in where? The monitor?
Bows amendments were already in the, bow times or whatever it was.
I think Mike's
We'll get
asking
it
for
on
an
the website.
explanation of it though, right?
The thing is, what it does is, really Donna put it together before she left. It has the warrant, and basically puts it in, takes it out of the warrant
Layman's
language,
words.
and puts it in common sense language.
Layman's word, yeah.
Yeah. So we can have the amendment in the paragraph below it, and the bow times if you
Yeah,
want, with
yeah.
Dunbarton.
But she's got the document.
The one page.
It's a one pager, and I think it was put together, well done.
But that's a good idea to have that one pager.
How many of
available
these
once
did
a
you
year
want me
for
to
the
have?
public hearing.
That's what it's doing.
Mm-hmm. Good one.
How many of these do you,
Are those in the school?
no, these are all ours, so
What's
let.
that? Oh, no, it's just my folder.
I'm gonna give
I had
them
some,
back to her.
posted outside, I was gonna put one over here, but
Okay. All right, the next thing on the, mailbox item is Dunbarton Elementary. The school board will have their warrant articles, proposed public hearing for 2026 and 2027 on Monday, February 2nd, beginning at 6 PM at the elementary school library. Well, that must be a small meeting they're having in the school.
they always have it there.
That's where it was.
Yeah.
That's where they always have it. But the difference is that they usually have it the Wednesday before when they hold the school board meeting. And there's been a change in plans, so they're holding it the Monday before.
Do you wanna sign
So
that?
it's a little bit different if you wanna put it in your calendar.
So these are just in their notices, so people have that available. Lean has given us a copy of the trust fund,
Once you looked at it earlier.
CRF totals, current.
That may be worthwhile if we have questions during the town meeting.
Oh, okay, give you each a copy, which
Yeah.
makes sense, yeah.
I already reviewed these numbers tonight, so I'm not gonna do it again. And Lean has given us a copy of the memo to the department heads and committees regarding the 2026 annual town report due date. she sent those out to everybody.
How the reports coming in?
They've been coming in all for the last week and a half.
Great.
Usually the ones that last are the town clerk and the school, but,
And then the selectmen.
No later than January 19th.
which was this past Monday. But that's all right.
Font's in here for you, Dana.
I think he got the email, he's already gotten his energy committee report
he
to
got
me.
it.
Oh, good.
All approved font size and everything.
Perfect.
It makes for an attractive town report when you have consistency, when you have different fonts
Yeah,
and.
no, it's a good
sizes.
idea.
It really,
It's a small thing, but it makes a difference.
yeah,
We have a copy of one of the pieces of equipment that, Woody had used for his price comparison. And I'm not gonna discuss the price, but Lean is gonna put this in the package for the warrant article. So she at least has a dollar amount if you want to put that in her file.
Do you want us to initial this?
I guess we can, I don't think it matters either way.
What type of, I'm just looking at this picture here.
that's what I said.
What is that thing?
That's a telehandler.
Okay.
I said the same thing.
Do you know what a telehandler looks like?
It's a machinery item.
Isn't that what I asked you?
I never had a
I got the
Tonka
picture,
truck
but
that
what
looked
is
like
it?
this.
I own,
Do you wanna see it?
Yeah.
I own two of them, and, I don't believe that's the route we will be going, cause there is some visibility issues with a telehandler.
It looks very, very similar to a skid steer.
Okay,
They do reach up further, and there's a lot of uses to them, especially these.
Are we gonna have audio visual, at the town meeting?
Yeah, I'm sure we will, yes.
What does it look like?
Well,
No,
the
'cause-
thing is,
We might not wanna show that one,
no,
'cause
Well, you don't know what
the
you're
way
gonna
we have
get.
it worded, it's a lot clearer that we're picking one of these three.
We need a new piece of equipment, we're not sure yet.
Why don't we just have I mean, if there's any picture to have, just take a picture of the current one.
Oh, that's a good
And
idea.
just say, this is,
Well,
I mean,
we
people
need
see
to-
that down there all the
but I
time.
think we could just even speak to it, you know,
Oh, yeah.
its age and stuff,
Yeah.
people see it like.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, that's.
Skid steers are a lot better known than telehandlers.
Yeah,
Okay,
I own two telehandlers, but they're more to move.
Is that like a telephone, you put numbers in and call someone, telehandler?
No nail handles.
I looked all over that description, I
Okay,
couldn't find the
shortening
word.
up the meeting. I have a request to go to I'm gonna go public comment one more time.
yeah. I'm listening to you guys again tonight, and especially Dave, you talk so low.
Oh, do I?
Even I can hardly hear. Mike,
And I think I'm loud.
no, sometimes you are.
Oh, okay.
Mike, I have no problem with. Dana, sometimes.
Yeah.
Even Lean, you know. And so my audience can't hear you guys.
Oh, really?
Maybe we need a microphone there.
It might not hurt, and also,
I know I'm the only
I tend to
audience
be
here,
reading as I'm talking, so I'm looking down.
Yeah,
but no, you start talking, then you're going down, and it's like you're reading to yourself.
Yeah.
And I get that because we all do it, but my audience can't hear that, you know.
Good
So
feedback.
there's a lot of stuff that we miss. you
I'm
know.
just not sure what Lean put in here, and that's why I'm talking.
Yeah, right, I bet, yeah. Or you're embarrassed. But,
I'm
you
reading and I'm
know,
like, that doesn't make any
And
good
we've been
sense.
trying to enhance the audio on this, and we're having a very hard time with it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we could have a mic there. that
is
when
there
you
a
guys
mic
are
that can be
talking-
attached to that? that we
I've
can-
bought some, mics, and they don't work. So-
We do have a mic, a tabletop mic.
Yeah, but it would have to,
It'd have to
you'd have
connect
to
to
connect
that.
into this.
No, I think it's just,
It's a standalone mic,
standalone mic,
yeah.
and we've used them before at different meetings.
For the phone though.
But what does it
it's a-
connect
it's-
into?
It's a telephone.
It was the one Mike had at his house.
It's a star phone.
Oh, so it's just a
conference
telephone.
phone. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all
It's
it
not
is.
gonna.
No, it's
not-
correct.
No,
They
Why
do
don't we
have
look at a
standalone
standalone
mics
one
out
that we
there
can
that
have
you
here?
can use that will enhance
how
your
would,
voice.
what would we connect that to, speakers behind you, so that they can hear it?
His voice may be clear, and you'll be listening to him mostly after this.
No, normally I'm
Mike just when
I'm
he
not a
gets back.
voice that people have trouble hearing most of the time, I have a certain tone.
No,
but
right, and
Your,
you're not-
your
you're not-
feedback's pretty good.
Right, you're not bad, and I'm
Some
not
of it
saying.
might be my mumbling to him.
Exactly, and that's part of it, a lot of this is missing, you know?
Yeah.
And as I said, sometimes Lean's talking, and I can't
Yeah, you
make all
can't
the
hear
words
it.
out.
Yep.
Mike's pretty good, he's loud. You're not, you're worse than him.
Really. And
How
see,
old,
it already
how old
tells
is
me I'm
the
loud
system?
guy.
Excuse me?
How old is the system?
It's been that way for a long time.
I'm-
I've had complaints from a lot of people since I've
What
been
about
doing
buying a new camera?
But I've got 3 now,
Oh.
and still having the same
No,
issue.
I'm buying a new model camera completely.
But the
The
thing
same
is, there's
issue.
Same
no,
issue.
there's too much low volume, I can't even hear, I'm sitting here.
Yeah,
You know, this evening when he was reading whatever it was, I didn't know what he was saying.
that's why I read it like that.
It's exactly, I figure, keep the public in the dark, right?
I can say, I didn't say that.
660K, I know he said that number loud.
Oh, yeah, right, but that makes them happy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
If I find something, I'll get back to you.
yeah,
Would that be possible?
we'd be willing to, I think,
Yeah.
purchase something if it's
You know, I mean,
decent, we can set up here.
it's not gonna take away from my videos because I don't let anybody touch that.
Yeah.
It's just the volume that we need, you know,
Sure.
more volume.
Yep, if there's something that could be set up here.
I'm
with
gonna
that,
look into it, I have been looking into it, but I'm
And
gonna.
it doesn't
continue.
react with that thing and it works, I think,
Yeah, we could have just a little amplifier as a possibility too,
Yeah.
just a speaker that we just,
that's what I'm thinking, we're
Yeah.
generally talking to and
yep,
maybe even
Okay.
3 chords
We'll
coming
work on
out of
that.
it.
Good, thank you.
Okay, thank you for your comment, Leo. Lean, do you have anything for the, just before we go into non-public, just so we can come back and not,
Nothing on for me, but, I don't know how you are progressing with the solar,
I'm not
you know,
yet, so I
okay.
need to get on it.
Work in progress?
Yeah.
okay, work in progress. Do you have anything new for the board for tonight?
Yeah, I do wanna just mention, it's kind of outside my select board position here, but on, the 14th of January, last Wednesday, the Conservation Commission gave me a little friendly award for doing all the cleanup.
I saw that.
Down at Kimball Pond Mill site
Oh,
and the
good.
Kimball Pond Foundation, the bug house or whatever was
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
We
Workers'
took-
house, yeah.
We were able to take down 45 dead trees in that
Ash.
area, some of them were in the
All
foundation,
ash, yeah.
all around the foundation, up and down the road area. And so the area's just cleaned up quite a bit, and they decided to just recognize myself and a wood tree cutting partner of mine.
I saw that, that was
Kudos.
very nice.
We,
Yeah.
years ago, I worked on that, cleaning the mill site
Yeah.
and the workers' house.
Yeah,
And those trees you took down,
Yeah.
the state had them marked for ash borers, so we couldn't touch them. Now they must have been all been dead.
they're all dead, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was there, I helped clean out that
Yeah,
Yeah,
foundation.
I
we
remember that.
cleaned out along the
The
dam,
parkway,
the-
remember?
all- the old mill site, everything, cause you couldn't see it before.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did talk to Brett, it appears that there may have been a livestock yard out behind the foundation site, because there's a couple stone walls that we've uncovered as we were working out there. And Brett actually gave us permission to continue cleaning that, and we might actually be able to,
On the side of the house?
yes. So as you're coming in, just before you take a right into the Kimball
Yeah.
Pond boat ramp,
There's one there.
right to the
Yeah.
right there,
But if you know, there was an old farm right there.
okay,
Yeah, if you go off into the woods a little further,
yeah,
there's a home site there, and I found 2 old wells, one of them was
Oh, you did?
uncovered, I covered it. Yeah, an old home site out there,
oh, wow, okay.
not far off of that foundation.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, so I just interpreted it, as a potential livestock area, because there's stone walls in there,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna continue cleaning up
Yeah.
there just as a little.
Yeah, no,
either
it's,
livestock or garden. I
Yeah,
do burn wood, Dana.
do you? Okay. There was actually a whole pile of it on the side of the road you could've picked up today if
No.
you were there in time, yeah. So, anyway, that's all I wanted to mention.
Oh,
It was
cool.
nice of
Very
the Conservation Commission, and I enjoy doing it, and I like the end result of seeing what
yeah, it's beautiful,
it's
yeah.
exposing that area.
Yeah.
I did see him out there working hard one day.
You did,
Now get back to your paperwork.
yeah.
Mike, do you have anything for the board?
Yes, January 15th has come and passed, and I see Christmas lights on, or holiday lights, what do you wanna call them. They're supposed to be off.
Oh, yeah, I noticed that.
Oh, the trees are off, just the front is on,
Right,
huh?
and the gazebo's on too.
Yeah.
That was not part of the plan,
Oh, okay, I see.
and that's
The
electricity.
trees are not on, but the.
Everything else is.
Okay.
You're keeping up your name as the mean selectman.
No, I'm trying to be part of the energy committee.
Right.
Following orders.
It was the 15th, so that's right.
Yeah.
Good pickup. Anything else, Mike?
I just like to say, I thought the road aid, we got a letter concerning, Ordway Road, we need to read and probably be ready to respond next meeting.
Okay,
Um,
Do you have anything, Dave?
I have nothing else for the public.
So, going forward, I think everyone's satisfied with the budget and you're ready for the public hearing?
Oh, yes, more than ready.
I think so.
Okay.
Kudos to the town administrator who was working while she was ill.
Yeah.
She's
thanks.
still ill.
A little bit, just coughing and
Yeah.
so,
It takes a
Okay.
long time to get over that.
yeah.
I'm gonna make
Thank
a
you.
motion to go to non-public per RSA 91,